We're done this portion of the build. This is for the wee shed. What's missing right here is the bolts, but I'll be connecting the deck today, and then I'll purchase longer bolts to tie everything all together. So I just might purchase the same one. These were 8-inch bolts. See how it's tied in on the inside. I think this guy's already plotting on building a web under here. I will eventually close all this off real good, but that'll be later because I do have to get under there to tie in those bolts. So we're going to start from here. I already measured. I'm putting a 10-foot board straight across. Here's my line there, my other line right there. So it's going to be a 10 by 10 deck. I already have some of the 2x6s that I'll be using for this. I will definitely need to get more, but this is enough to start me off. I did have these here, but because it was raining, I made sure I strapped it as well. Didn't want it to get bold, lose too much shape. So you keep them nice and tight, and you won't have to worry too much suffering trying to get a level board. The best part about this is now I actually have a flat leveled surface to work on. Just to show you what I did, I nailed some scraps just for temporary, just so I could have something to hold this up for me, because it's not easy working alone. But as you can see, we're nice and level there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just nail this one in. Now just want to show you how I'm doing this by myself. I'm trying to get that bubble right in the center. So I just squeeze, go check on the bubble again. It's almost there. And we are leveled now. Yeah, when you're working alone, you gotta figure out how you're gonna do this. Like I said, these clamps are my extra hands. If you watch my videos, you see usually I'm working by myself. I'll do the same to this side until this board is nice and leveled, and I can nail my 10-footer, and we are squared and leveled. I just put some scrap pieces and just a couple of temporary screws with some 2x4s, but that's good. So my joists are going to run this way, and my deck boards are going to run this way. What I'm going to do is flatten this area nice and level to get my concrete slab there in place. Then I'm going to take this 6x6 and cut it down to the right size. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough for this project. I might have to go out and get another one. This is tedious. This will take you some time to get them all leveled, but need to get them leveled. Now I could take my measurement from here to the top of my joist. Then I could cut my 6x6 to the proper length. So I have 2 posts now cut out to the proper length. Here's the other one. For now, I just have it nailed in, but later I'll bolt everything down like I did over here. And off camera, as you can see, I doubled it up on the sides, on the front, this side, and I got 1 joist in. And I will need 6 more joists, which means that's another trip to the big box store. But I do think I have enough 6x6 to do my 2 corner posts. Just trying to get this one leveled. Still need to take off about 1.5 inches more on this side. Now that was a little tedious, but now let's take our measurement here. So we are at right on the 30 mark. Nice. Don't do what I did. Don't leave your shovel like this because you might smack yourself like in the cartoons. Let's get that out the way. And there's one thing I want to say. This is for an entertainment purpose only. Where I'm at, the code and the rules may be completely different. So what you do, you'll be doing at your own risk. I am not a licensed builder. I don't do this for a living, but I am a handyman. I've been repairing and building things, and I put in subfloors. I framed out houses. But what you do, you'll be doing at your own risk. Whether you're from the city, a county, the rules might be completely different from where I'm at. We do get all 4 seasons, so it might be different where you're at. I know there's people on my channel that are from India, the UK, Canada, Singapore, and a bunch of other countries. But what I'm saying is you have to basically use your best judgment. Find out what you can and cannot do. And if you decide to build your own tiny house, cabin, how you do it is up to you. I know a lot of times we want to cheap out and not purchase certain material because it's expensive. And I understand, we're all trying to save money. But just make sure that your build is safe. With that being said, let's get back to the video. I need to get my other batteries. That's good enough. Now, just to show you what it is I'm doing now. So, I'm just basically taking some measurements because I need to notch out from my 6x6 these measurements here. So, see if I got my pencil. Mark it like so. And then this same measurement, I'll be cutting out this area as well. And that is 3 inch. So at 3 inch, I'll be cutting that out. Okay, this is being cut out, that's being cut out, that's being cut out at this width as well. So gonna do that. Get my square right. Follow that line. I have the corner post in temporary, just making sure it's straight and leveled. Reason why I say temporary is because now I have to put log and lumber sealer. And I know I mentioned this in I believe it was part 1 of this build, but just in case you didn't see it, yeah, so for every cut that you make, it's a must that you put the sealer on every cut. So I put it here, I put it along here, and at the very bottom, all your end cuts as well, even in my rafters on the end cuts. So for this deck, for every rafter, I will be putting the end sealer on each end of the board. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove my corner posts again. I was just basically doing a dry fit, if you want to call it that. Put some temporary screws in, another one there for now until I get the bolts. Here's where I'm at. I'm out of material right now, but I got this one in. I want to put one also in the center, but it's not easy here. I can't even go 3 inches on this land without running into rock, so it's a little difficult to get it nice and level, but it's just tedious. I did do some research, and believe it or not, this once upon a time was all farm. Then an investor came in and just chopped everything up and sold everything separate. What I wanted to show you was this area here. If you see, this was a slab of concrete. You could tell it was old school. And some slate here, which was like a little walkway. And if you look carefully, maybe you can see better here. Once upon a time, there was some type of structure here. I don't know what it is, don't know what it was. Could it be a cellar? I know back then they used to store their food underground, but I don't know. I haven't taken the time to try to dig it up and see how big it actually is. But someday. Another thing is you want to keep in mind too, like just the material. who knows what it's going to come out to. I'll do the math at the end, but that wasn't the only cost. Before we could even start this project, we had to do a survey, and the survey by itself was $1,600. Yes, $1,600 just to do the survey alone. So just keep in mind where you're at. It might be different, because then you have survey, you have zoning, you have permit, and there are ways to go around the permit as long as you keep the structural low to the ground or at a certain amount of square feet. But for everyone, it's not going to be the same. You just have to see your city or county or whichever country you're from and you're watching. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this last one in. Then I guess I'm pretty much done for the day, because by the time I go to the big box store and get more lumber and get the other material that I need for this project, it'll be too late in the day. So I'll just probably start cleaning up and cook dinner. Okay, so we're gonna pause on the build because we got rain in the forecast coming up, and I don't want this plywood to continue getting wet. Today what I'll be putting on here is a paint and sealer, but before I could do that, I'm going to sweep the deck really good. And I have a special vacuum that I always use in all the job sites when I'm about to put on a floor or paint a floor. But I'll show you the vacuum. And I'm surprised this vacuum, you don't see much of it. Like a lot of contractors don't use it. And I think it's because you have to purchase a bag for it. So I think a lot of people they get away from this product because you have to buy bags for it. But I love it. It picks up the fine dust, it picks up in between the cracks. So I'm gonna go ahead and sweep first, then I'm gonna use my Mighty Mite vac, and then I'll show you the product that I'm going to use on this plywood floor. Here's what I'll be using today. Is an all-weather protection. This is a light gray. Interior, exterior, porch floor and patio. Wow, it's very thick. Got all my edges done right now. Sometime back I had showed a couple of painting tool products that I had purchased, and this is a rotor that I had already used. If you want to see the video how I cleaned this rotor and left it almost brand new again, I'll leave you the link in the description. And this is just one of the tips I showed at the end of that video. You can use these Pringle cans to store your paint rotors. And here's how it looks the next day. I like it. The paint goes on very thick. But I still will be putting a tarp. This is just in case if it does rain. Even though they say it's not supposed to rain during the night. But if I know it's going to rain, I will be still putting the tarp. This is just so I can sleep at night, just in case. If it does start raining, at least there's some type of protection. But for now, I'm going to continue here, putting in the rest of these joists and the bridging as well. Then I'll start the second deck that will have the stairs. But before I do that, let's continue with our landscape cloth here. So right now what I'm doing is just tightening up all my bolts. Got a few more to go. Now I'm underneath the structure here, so finally it's tied in with the deck. It was only tied in with some nails and some screws, but finally we got some heavy duty bolts, and this thing is solid now. As you can see, in the future, if I ever want to run electric, plumbing, I have plenty of space to crawl underneath here. Even if I ever want to put a propane heater, I got plenty of space down here. It's the next day and I have about 2 to 3 hours to work before the rain comes. But here's what I got done. I placed one more post right here on this corner. I doubled up my 2x6 right here. This way I can start my deck that will be coming towards the cement slab here. On this side, I'm about 1.5 inches off of this slab. But for the front, I'm debating a little bit. I think I'm going to be a few inches out, at least maybe 6 inches out, then fill this all in with gravel. Because the deck will be leveled that I built, and the slab 100% is not level. It's, I would say, from that corner to this corner, it probably drops about 9 inches. If I can get this area squared off before it starts raining, I'll be happy. It is what it is. But after that, I think I'm good for the next 3 days with no rain. Here's where I'm at right now. I got my first one in, nice and leveled, using the post block on this one because I do want a little overhang here. I'll be setting this one right there halfway, and my nail gun won't fit in here because of the cement slab, so I will have to lift it up, nail it in, and then drop it back in place. But on this side I won't have that problem. Let me keep digging. I set the canopy up because it is hot. It's the next day and I got most of the second deck already in. Just have to do some of the bridging. I'm still missing a joist right here. At the front, I'm using the post blocks. At the higher side, I have the 6x6 with the cinder block base. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm putting a beam underneath this deck just to give it extra support. It is higher up off the ground, and I'm by myself, so I'm using these clamps to help me hold it in place, and I'll be using hurricane ties to tie that in. I might put one at the very front as well, but on the lower deck I'm not going to bother trying to do that because I don't need to. I'm only a few inches off the ground. We are what we are here. We're not even 9 inches, but it's coming along slowly but surely. This morning I picked up a few more boards, and I picked up a few more deck boards as well. I wish I would have had grabbed a couple more 2x6 because my truck has an issue and is at the shop right now. Something's wrong with the suspension and I don't have time to deal with it. I'm just going to hand it off to a buddy of mine, let him work on it so I can focus on this deck. I really want to get this deck done. I think I have them here. Yep, here's some of them. And I also picked up some of these. This will be for the shed as well, or the wee shed. I don't know what we're going to call it, but it's just an extra space to hold our outdoor equipment. If you haven't seen these, just basically just tie it in like so, and I'll do that for each joist, and I'll tie them in using these number 9s. I got some of the bridging on the lower deck. I got the framing for the step. Right now I just finished getting this nice and leveled. I'm gonna run some 2x6s on top. They will rest right on there just for extra support. You really don't need it. This is what, 10 by 9 I think it is, because I had to stop right here because of the cement slab. And I have to finish putting the landscaping cloth on this side as well. But my tube ran out, but I do have another one. So I should be good to go. I got my zero sugar Gatorade here, some coffee. And I don't put sugar in my coffee. I prefer it just coffee with a little bit of milk. I try to avoid the extra sugar because I do enjoy my energy drinks, and that has a lot of sugar. So I try to cut the sugar from other places. Are you inspecting my work? Go over there. Stay out of my area. So for today, I want to finish that. The extra bridging, landscaping cloth, all the bridging to the top deck as well. I mean, it's coming along. The sun isn't out, but it is very humid and the mosquitoes are out. They are like attacking me left and right. So I got this here. These really work. They really keep the mosquitoes away. You just give it like 20 minutes and you'll start to notice that the mosquitoes are slowly getting away, but I still spray myself regardless, which I showed I keep in my 2-bag. Going to have to order another box. I'm almost out of these staples. Comes 120 in a box and 80 of these. They call them gaskets. I don't know why, but whatever. Yes, may I help you? Look at the other one being nosy. And right now I'm just brainstorming. So I might get my belt sander and take off some of these little high spots here. But for the spots that are really bad, I will need the hand planer for that. And I'm going to do a 3/4 overhang all over. And I have my scrap piece here, just determining should I put one in the front, kind of dress it up. I think I should, because then I could overhang it at the end over there and it will cover up the end board of my 2x6. It will look something like that. Got my belt sander and my hand planer. I believe I paid $40 for each one. They're not expensive. So Wen brand, I do have a video out on this one. I will have a video out. If I do have the video out for this belt sander, I'll leave the link in the description at the bottom. That came out really good. Look at that. You can see where the high spots were and wasn't. Now it's nice and flush. And that's what you want. Take your time. Like I said, the planer, $40, $40, but they're worth it if you want your deck to have a nice, even, professional look. It's worth the investment. I mean, you're already putting a couple $1,000s into this, so another $80 to make your work look professional, go for it. Now, I want to get this step in today, and I will be putting on this joist tape as well. And this roll here was, I believe it was 40 bucks as well. But since I purchased two, I got it a little bit cheaper. And basically what this is for is just so your deck can last a lot more longer, because typically that's where the moisture will hide in between your joists and your deck board. You don't need to do this, but I recommend do it, because in 10 years you want to look back and be like, man, my work still look good. I just got it out of the packaging, and it probably was more difficult to get it out of the packaging than it is going to be to put it on this deck. But what I'm seeing that I like is that they already have a nice groove in there, so it's easier for you to cut it with your razor blade, because you might not need the whole 4 inches. Like what we need is just 2 inches, but then up top here where we doubled up our boards, we'll need the 4 inches there. So that's pretty cool that it comes from the factory already cut all the way around. It just makes life easier. And just like that, we have our joist tape installed. It's the next day. I just came back from Lowe's, picked up a little bit of lumber. Couldn't pick up too much because I don't have my truck right now. Truck is still down. I had to use the town country, but the good thing is when I drop all the seats in that town country, I can get a few 10-footers in there. So I picked up about 10 boards only. Right now I'm just gonna enjoy my breakfast and coffee, enjoy the scenery, right dog? After I eat, drink my coffee, then I'll probably wake up and I can start again. And another thing is, these potatoes we grew in the garden. The eggs are from the hens, and the sausage are from Aldi. Maybe someday, one day, we'll do our own meat here, but we're not ready for that. That's a long way down the line before we get there. Right now I'm just planing all the boards. As you can see, I'm getting it nice and flush now. You can tell where the high spots were. Yes, so if you're doing a deck, I recommend get yourself one of these hand planers. You don't got to get the expensive one. Just get this Wen one, 40 bucks. I did do a review video, check that out. But for 40 bucks for the work that it's doing, it's awesome. I love it. And here's a little tip. Don't leave your joist tape in direct sun. It gets very sticky, it's harder to peel. It just makes it a little more easier to peel when you're not in direct sunlight. Just putting it here is already very hot. If you look carefully, it's already bonding and sticking to the joist. I can't speak on other joist tape, but this one here, sticking very well. I have all my joist tape on my lower deck now. Took about 45 minutes. I didn't think it was going to take me that long, but hey, putting some joist tape will probably give these joists an extra 5 years. So I have a little bit deck now. What I'm doing now is the picture framing. As you're walking up and coming up the steps, all my boards are going this way. But since these boards are running that way, I don't want to see all the ends of the boards when you're coming up the step. So they call this picture framing. We're going to put one board at the top going across, but what we need to do is beef up this area here. So I put one more joist here, and then we're going to place this 2x4 right inside there. See that? And then we'll have all that meat there, and we'll have no issue screwing in our deck boards. well, there you have it. Now we have all this massive meat here to grab onto. Put my board there, screw in. Then for the deck boards up top, they also have a place for support and for me to screw in. Here's where I'm at today. What I was doing is I ran one board through the table saw. Then with a pond sander, I round off the edges to match the boards. The reason why I had to run one through the table saw, because a full board was going to be way too much of an overhang. I made a full review video on that table saw. If you want to check that out, I'll leave the link in the description. And the lower deck is pretty much done. The only thing is left is the railings, and I'll do that on another video. Found the rest of the lumber that I needed. And if you take a good look at my deck, what do you do not see? Screws. Why? Because I'm using this camo edge technology. It's extremely simple to use. For the tool, 4 of these bits, 1,700 screws, ran me about 170 bucks. But I love it. You get a very clean deck. You don't see screws staggering. Just place your camo marksman in. Automatically gives you the perfect gap. 1 screw on each end. Perfect every time. There you have it. And it's good to have a spare 2x4 with you with a screw to help you pry your boards when they're warped. Yeah, this 2x4 gives you the strength of 10 people. It's the next day, and it's actually a beautiful day today. Here's how it's looking. Looking good. I finally finished the top deck. Stairs are in. Well, one stair. I put these on the side just to cover up that entrance. Here's how we're looking. I'm very happy with this. It's extremely solid. I was enjoying myself looking at the new view. I will be adding more to this. Well, of course, the railing here will be a completely different episode. I do have some motion sensor step lights, but I'm also thinking of perhaps running an LED underneath the step here, going all the way across, and put the little solar panels on the side. But that'll be another video. Here's how it looks on the side. I'm loving the picture frame here. It's looking good. The dog's enjoying it. You're happy with it, aren't you? Yeah. She also has a new view. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. There is a right and wrong way to install your deck boards. If you want to look at it as a sad face or rainbow, that's how you want to install your deck board. Because if you have it the opposite way, if it warps, your deck will go up. Well, your deck board will be sticking up. Then to fix that, you're going to have to plane it or sand it down. Because once your board dries, if you don't have it installed like this, then you will see the ends kind of lifting up. Hopefully I explained that right, but I'm happy. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. This will be part 4 now. And part 5 will be me building the wee shed here. So if you want to continue seeing this build, subscribe for part 5. As you can see, I'm getting ready to build the wee shed. Hopefully you found today's video entertaining and enjoyable. Subscribe to see part 5 and you have yourself a good one. Thanks for watching.